back at my favorite place again. You guys may remember this from a couple of my previous videos. Where my ladder is, that's a 6-door freezer. That freezes down again. I had a call on that like I don't know, a month or two ago. The back condenser fan motor. But we're back on this again today. I'm gonna get up on the ladder and show you guys what I found up there, what's happening. Pretty simple thing, but I figured I'd point it out for you. So here we are up on the ladder, guys. When I got here, this unit was off. I have it pumped down right now on the time clock to simulate, to show you guys what I found here, what was going on. This whole freezer's been down. It's they had to empty the whole thing. It's like 50 degrees or whatever in there. But I want to show you. I'm gonna take it out of defrost. Our pressure's gonna rise back up. The solenoid's gonna open. This pressure control is set to come on at 25 psi. You look on the low side here. See that pressure coming up, the gas coming through the sight glass. Not turning on. See that? The pressure's gonna go up to around 40 or 50. So what I found is a very simple thing, but something you need to check with mechanical controls. See over here, these things stick. See this dual pressure control right here? You tap it, hear it come on. The pressure control's sticking and going bad. So I'm gonna change out that dual pressure control. So if you guys could see what I did here, down on this valve, I wound that all the way in. That's on our discharge side, going over to here. So, and then I'm gonna close in the one on the suction side, and that will completely isolate this compressor so I can change out our pressure control lines. I got one here for the low side and one here for the high side. I apologize if this is hard to see. I'm up on this ladder here. This is that place. It's a horrible spot. Terrible to work in here. But that's what I gotta do, and then I'll just get the gas out of here. There'll only be a little tiny bit in there where those pressure control lines are. But that'll be all isolated now, so I can change out that control. The control's mounted in there in the control panel. Get all that mounted in after. I can move my ladder back and forth here to get to either side of this thing. So we'll get that changed out. Hopefully start her up soon. I just want to point out too that this has the rubber hoses for the pressure control that are on flare nuts that I could take off, which would be nice, but the dual pressure control I have is the one that has the cap tube coming out with your flare nuts already connected, so I got to take these whole hoses off on the lines over here. It would be nice just to change out that control because of the awkward position I got to work in here, but it is what it is. So we're going to get them all out. Everything's ready to get changed out and just get the new control in with the new I have a different style control. I have a Ranco one. This is a Johnson Controls one, but we use what we have on the truck here to get us going. So I just want to point out with these pressure controls, guys. See, this is an old Johnson Controls one. They're all just manual controls. You can see all the parts and springs in here and whatever. They start to stick up in this area and the springs and everything. This is the spring that activates it. It goes on and off, but if it doesn't, if the contacts, if it doesn't move enough, they start to stick because of the crap in there or whatever. It won't turn the unit on. The switches won't make contact inside it. So usually when this happens, you could clean them up, I guess, but this thing's really old, so I'm just going to change it out to be safe because they don't need a freezer going down again because they can lose a lot of product if that happens. So like I said, when these stick, sometimes you give them a whack on the linkages and everything. When you hit them with a screwdriver or something, it makes them kick in. When it's doing that, you know they're usually on their way out and it's time for a new one. I want to show you guys, if some of you don't know, because this is a dual pressure control. We're running 404A. I'm going to set this at 400. Trip out at 400 psi on a high head pressure situation. Has this button here. That's your manual reset. So if this hits 400, this is going to trip out, and you have to manually press this button to get the unit back on. You know, so this thing isn't banging on and off on high head pressure if something else is wrong. You can select this to be auto as well by adjusting this screw, but I'm going to keep it as manual because I feel it's safer that way. So a unit, say we're not here or something, and it keeps going on and off on high head, that can cause a bad situation. So the low pressure control here, you can see, closes on pressure rise or high event. So when the solenoid opens up, this is going to hit 25 psi, and your differential is 20. So you go 25 minus 20. That means on the pump down it's going to shut off around 5 psi. I just wanted to explain that. Some of these you set for on and off, but most of them have a differential. You got to set the differential on them to have these right. And I probably got to fine tune it a bit once I get up there and get it in and all that. But that's usually what I set them for, is to come on about 20, 25 psi and shut off around 5. So the pressure control is in, guys. You can see it over there. I'm going to put the cover on after I fine tune this thing, after I start it up. I just wanted to point out, if you see where the cap tubes are on these. Sorry, I got my ladder on the way here too, but you just want to make sure they're not rubbing on anything or rubbing on themselves, because they will chafe and create leaks. I've seen it many times. They'll chafe on each other or rub on the compressor here, a pipe, anything. And also, when you're putting on these flare nuts, make sure you use 2 wrenches, because if you tighten this nut too tight, this fitting here is only brazed into a little 3/8 pipe. I've seen those break right off of there, and you can blow a whole charge or something. Say there was gas in there, like if there was a Schrader in there and you were trying to take it off, you didn't have to pump it down or isolate it. Those will snap off very easily, so try to always use 2 wrenches on those. But that's about it. She's in. Sorry my ladder's in the way, except this is a terrible spot to work in here, so I don't really have much room. But ready to start it up in a couple minutes, guys. Alright guys, so that one's done. I just wanted to follow up. I couldn't film toward the end there. There was all kinds of deliveries going on underneath me there and everything, and it just wasn't really good. But anyway, the pressure control's in, it's running. I did put it on a quick vacuum after to vacuum out the compressor area and that side of the discharge line and the suction line where I had that unit isolated. So I left. It was about 0 degrees in the case. They were starting to put stuff back in it. They wanted to get the product back out there again. So that was about it. Quick, easy one, but I just wanted to show you guys that with the pressure controls and maybe explain a little how to set them and all that. They're all pretty much the same, but you can get some different ones too, and you know, there is different kinds, but those are usually the ones you're going to run across in, you know, your average refrigeration unit. But I got to cut out early today because I gotta go back to my shop right now. I gotta get some I'm going in to do a night job tonight, so I gotta get all the parts. I gotta put an evaporator coil and a TX valve and a solenoid too, I think, and a case on a cook's line in this very busy restaurant, and we can't get in there during the day to do it. They're just too busy. So I'm going in about, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock tonight and work till it's done. So it'll actually be better. It's a lot better being in those places when no one's around you and you got room to work. So I'm gonna try to get a video for that for you guys. It should be a pretty good one. So if you guys are also interested in videos like that, a lot of restaurant refrigeration, ice machines, things like that, check out HVACR videos. His name's Chris too, I believe, and he's out in California. We're on opposite coasts, but he's a real good tech. He's got some good videos, and he does really good in-depth like explanations what he does for the fix, you know, and how he does it and what caused the part to go wrong and things like that. But it's HVACR videos, all in capitals. Real good tech. But other than that, guys, I guess that's it for this one. Consider liking and subscribing if you want, and I'll catch you boys on the next one.